15 things you didn't know about Los Angeles. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome back to another amazing video. Today we're looking at the world's capital of Hollywood glamour and entertainment, Los Angeles. Home to nearly every major celebrity and birthplace of reality television, Los Angeles is the center of everything entertainment. The city has its own culture of beauty and health, with everyone drinking green juices, eating egg whites, and practicing yoga, or at the very least, booking themselves in for a facelift. Nowhere on earth does glitz and glam like Los Angeles, but it's also home to gorgeous beaches, remote hilltops, and small towns that the majority of visitors never see. Because Alux.com is dedicated to becoming the world's best resource on the most fabulous cities and destinations, we couldn't wait to give you 15 things you didn't know about LA. Number 1. Beverly Hills began as a simple lima bean ranch. Maria Rita Quinteros de Valdez settled in Los Angeles in 1828, choosing a 4,500-acre property called Rancho Rodeo de las Aguas. This was then bought by two brothers who farmed lima beans on the land, and they were then bought out by an oil company in 1900. Rodeo Land and Water Company renamed the property and its land Beverly Hills, and then started splitting it up to sell. The Beverly Hills Hotel followed in 1911, and the area's population began to grow and grow, evolving into the plush, expensive area we know today. Number 2. Hollywood was established in LA to escape patents. Thomas Edison patented over 1,000 inventions throughout his career, including incandescent light bulbs, photography, and one of the earliest movie cameras. His patents applied to creating movies and the finished products, so the first film production firms moved out of Edison's reach, where enforcement could be difficult: California. Interested in old Hollywood glamour? Check out our video, The Top 10 Sex Symbols of the 50s and 60s. Number 3. LA has the biggest Thai population outside of Thailand. 80,000 Thai people live in Los Angeles. They're by no means the largest immigrant group in the city, but they're the largest population outside of the country itself. LA's population ranges from Americans to Filipinos, and it has a rich history of multiculturalism. People from 140 countries, speaking 224 different languages, live throughout LA and have created their own enclaves throughout the city, such as Koreatown, Little Ethiopia, and Little Tokyo. Number 4. The Los Angeles Coroner's Office has a gift shop. The LA Coroner's Office is well and truly open to the public, and they're definitely up for making a profit. They sell body bag style luggage, customized mugs, and videos of gory local murders. Crime has been declining in LA for a decade, with nearly 300 homicides recorded in 2013, less than New York's 328 in the same year. Now that this figure is continuing to go down, maybe they thought it was time to start focusing on branded mugs and t-shirts. Number 5. There's a ranch in Santa Monica where Hitler was going to live after World War II. Hitler obviously planned to win the Second World War, and he was planning to run the Nazi Empire from Murphy's Ranch in Santa Monica. Rather than Berlin, which would have been the obvious choice, millions were spent on the 22-bedroom ranch. It had a 375,000-gallon water tank, its own diesel power plant, a meat locker, and a bomb shelter. The building has now become eerily abandoned and is covered in colorful graffiti. Number 6. Vernon is the smallest city within Los Angeles, with a population of just 112. Vernon consists mainly of factories and industrial warehouses, and despite its small population, it attracts 54,000 workers to its various businesses every year. It was even named Los Angeles' most business-friendly city in 2008, and produces $250 million in revenue annually. Recent efforts to consolidate Vernon into the rest of LA have failed, with its few residents determined to stay independent. Number 7. The Hollywood sign used to be lit with thousands of light bulbs. In the 1920s, the famous Hollywood sign, or the Hollywoodland sign as it was then, was lit up at night with light bulbs. There were so many of them that they would run out of juice pretty regularly. To stop someone from having to trek up there every time a bulb needed changing, a man was hired to live up there in a cabin so he could replace the burnt-out bulbs daily. Number 8. There are more cars in the city than people. LA traffic is notorious for being congested, and it's probably because there are more cars than people. Plans to build more freeways have been rejected because there literally isn't enough room, and the cultural norm of driving everywhere has only added to the problem. Los Angeles residents will spend 80 hours sitting in traffic every year, and despite their public transport system being pretty well developed, most refuse to use it. Number 9. LA was part of Mexico until 1848. LA may seem all-American with its Hollywood sign and celebrity lookalikes, but it was once a part of a Mexican territory. Its original name was the Town of Our Lady, Queen of the Angels, on the Porciúncola River, in Spanish, of course. After the Mexican-American War, America took back control of Los Angeles in 1848. By 1900, the population had grown to 102,000. Number 10. There is a network of hidden tunnels underneath the city. 11 miles of tunnels run from Spring Street to First Street, and were mainly used during the Prohibition era for illegal bootlegging activities. Bodies were moved, alcohol was stored, and even billions of dollars would change hands down there. It's rumored that there are still entrances and even an elevator to the tunnels, but they're apparently very hard to find. Number 11. There have been feral chickens living underneath the Hollywood freeway since the 1970s. US Route 101 is the home of a colony of chickens, and no one can get rid of them. It's suggested they arrived there after escaping an overturned poultry truck and decided to set up their home. There are lots of alternate stories, however, with some even thinking that they were put there by two boys who were hiding their pets from complaining neighbors. There are now 2 colonies of chickens, and they've become permanent residents. Number 12. It costs $30,000 to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You might think that Hollywood stars are given out to those who contributed to showbiz as a gesture of goodwill, but most of the time it's been paid for with cold, hard cash. It's not always the celebrity themselves who pays for the star. Fan clubs, studios, and anyone who's interested can raise funds for them posthumously. Number 13. The construction of buildings over 150 feet were banned until the 1950s. Los Angeles has a sprawling and low cityscape, unlike many other American cities that have a skyline punctuated with skyscrapers. The reason for this is that restrictions were placed on construction up until the late 50s. The one exception is City Hall, which is the tallest base isolated structure in the world, at 32 stories high. Number 14. Japanese Americans living in LA were moved to internment camps during World War II. Because of Japan and the US's conflict, Japanese Americans were forced out of the city after the attack on Pearl Harbor, eliminating Little Tokyo entirely. Public opinion had completely turned against the Japanese, and the Alien Enemies Act was issued, stating that Germans and Italians were also enemies of the United States. Japanese immigrants relocated to the camps throughout the US, but the majority were on the West Coast. Number 15. You might meet the ghost of Marilyn Monroe at the Roosevelt Hotel. Monroe stayed at the Roosevelt Hotel on numerous occasions, generally staying in a specific poolside suite. It is rumored that her ghost has appeared in a full-length mirror that was located in her suite, but has now been placed next to an elevator. There are many Hollywood ghosts, including Houdini's at his former home in the Hollywood Hills, and Montgomery Clift roaming the same hotel hallways as Marilyn. We all think we know Los Angeles, but there's actually a lot more to this glitz and glam location than meets the eye. Sprawling and diverse, its climate is as complicated as its history. It's famous for so much more than its Hollywood stars. Don't forget In-N-Out Burger, traffic jams, and the best teenage slang in the world. So, you're jetting off to Los Angeles. What do you do first? Head straight down to Rodeo Drive for the best shopping in the city, or cruise around Calabasas for some Kardashian spotting? Oh, you're still here? Here's another bizarre fact about LA. Quentin Tarantino bought an old cinema in LA so he could show whatever he wants. The new Beverly Cinema is open to the public most of the time, showing classic film noir and new independents. Tarantino also screens films from his own private collection to those lucky enough to get tickets. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.